YouTube, it's Nurse D here, and I am on my way out to Texas. Yes, I am going out there to help with the crisis. I just got the notification yesterday that they're deploying a lot of nurses because they need a ton of help in different places in Texas. I don't know exactly where I'm going to be, but I have to fly out there tomorrow. They're giving me two locations where I may be at, or possibly the suburbs around those areas, which are either Houston or San Antonio, Texas. So I have chosen to fly into Houston because I don't know exactly where I'm going to be as far as the hospital. So I just said I'm going to fly into Houston, Texas. I've been to San Antonio, Texas before when my brother had graduated from the Air Force. This was years ago. I think I was in high school at that point, but I've never been to Houston, Texas. So I was like, I'm going to fly into Houston, Texas, and maybe, just do some sightseeing my first day. Just to say I've been to Houston before, since, like I said, I don't know where I'm going to be assigned. And as you may or may not know, I was in New York helping with the crisis situation May, from April to May. I was in New York. So I did help with that. Now the breakout has started again. So I'm flying out tomorrow. So I'm working on packing up my stuff. And so far, I just got my scrubs in here basically. Um, so I've started with that, but I have a lot more to go. Typically, all of my oils, liquid stuff, I need to package up separately because this is going under the plane. It's going to be thrown around. That typically takes me the longest to pack up that stuff and transfer oils into smaller containers and everything. And then I have my nursing bag here. This is what I actually use. You may or may not know, I'm an ER nurse, so I'll be working in the ER. So this is the bag that I carry basically as my purse and everything. So the main things that I just have is my stethoscope, my shears to cut off clothes, a forceps. So I don't know if you know what this does, but basically I will get a roll of tape and I will put it on here, and then I will attach the forceps to my scrub top down on my side, and then I put my scissors within the roll of tape. So at all times I can always have a roll of tape, which we need to tape up things all the time. And then I can grab my scissors if I need to cut clothes off of any individual in a hurry, an emergency situation. And I always have a little notepad. And of course, pens are in here. That's what you need. And also, I've always typically had used a watch, military time, because that's what us nurses document in is military time. But I may or may not use it because we have our cell phones all the time now. So I will just have that in my pocket. So I may not use that. And then I have some other miscellaneous things in here that I'm just using as a travel pad. I have some of my herbs just in case I feel any type of illness or anything like that. I use herbs. That's what I take for any issues that may come up. So the next thing I have is then my little bag. I take that as well. And the reason for that, I'm taking both my little and big bag, is just in case I need to come back home, because this assignment is for at least 30 days, but they're saying that it could be up to 90 days for us to be there, or even longer. They don't know. It's kind of a day by day situation. So if I need to come back home just for like a day or two to handle some business, I will fly back in and just use my little bag. So typically I use this as my carry-on between that and my backpack. This is what I carry for my laptop on the plane. So I'll use that. And if I'm on a plane, I'm not sure. I think the airline that I'm using, they only allow one carry-on item, or they will charge you. So if that's the case, I'm always saving money. So I will put this bag in my little suitcase, and it fits in there. So that's um kind of my plan, what I'll do. And pretty much you just have to have that in there when you're boarding the plane. So I'll until I start boarding the plane, I'll just have my backpack on me, and then this as my rolling device. And then once we start to board the plane, I'll just put the backpack in here right quick. I will also have my purse as well. So I'll just stuff all that into this little bag until I board, and then I'll probably unpack the stuff. That's just their regulations. But if you're looking at a way to get around that, if you can just pile everything into one bag just for you to board, and then when you actually get on the plane, you can start taking things out and stuff they don't care anymore. So so yeah, that's kind of what I have going on here. I've worked on this morning. I booked my plane flight. So I was looking at what's going to be the cheapest option, and then also the shortest time frame, because some of these flights, they'll have you out for 8 hours because they're doing a layover, and I did not want to do that. And just not knowing, because when I get there tomorrow, it's possible that I will know what city I'm gonna be in. So I'm me flying into Houston, and if I get assigned to a hospital in San Antonio, Texas, then that's, I believe, about a 2.5 hour drive. So then I would have to drive there, and I just don't want to do all this waiting at the airport if I have to drive to a completely different location. And then I booked my hotel at right at the airport that I'm going to be flying in. It's going to be easy. They're offering discounted rates for nurses. If some hotels either offering discounted or free. I haven't run into any more free ones. I know when I went to New York, when the outbreak first happened, there were hotels that were just offering free stays. But but right now, I'm not going to be calling around and stuff. The company that I'm with, the reason why I'm having to do all this and organize all this company, compared to my last company, they're not like a real travel company. They're more of a disaster company for Texas. So they want us as an individual to book our own hotels and car transportation to get back and forth to work. When I was in New York, the company that we were with, they had us set up in a hotel, and they provided transportation back and forth every day from work. But the perks about this company that I'm going with now, I'm actually making more money, probably due to the kind of inconvenience of me having to juggle everything. But it's okay. I've done so much traveling. I know how to search things really quick and put it all together. And if y'all haven't checked out my previous video about the New York one, I'll put it at the end of this video. I can't release how much I'm making with this current company, but it is more than what I made at the last company that I have on my other video, to kind of give you a figure of what I'm going to be paid basically. So, so yeah, I'm just gonna work on packing, doing the rest of my packing. And oh, also I gotta schedule an Uber to take me to the airport in the morning. So because I don't want my car sitting at the airport for this amount of time. So I'll pre-schedule that for early in the morning, like at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. I'll go ahead and pre-schedule that. So I still need to do that. And also I need to decide on my rental car. So I've I gotta make a decision if I want to go ahead and rent a car when I get there tomorrow, because the hotel that I'm gonna be at is right there, basically within the airport, or it's attached to the airport basically. So, but the thing about it is I'm gonna get there at 10 o'clock in the morning, and my hotel room won't be ready until 3 p.m. So I may just go ahead and rent my car, and do some sightseeing and get something to eat and so forth, because I already know I'm not going to want to wait around for my hotel room to get open. And so I'm trying to decide, because I used Priceline to book my flights, and people look at the different prices. A lot of times I do use Priceline or a third party company like Orbitz, or what are some other, Travel Velocity or whatever. Typically, Priceline is always the cheapest one, but I also did go on individual airline websites just to see if they had any additional flights, better options as far as times to fly in and to fly out basically. But I ended up picking Priceline. So within Priceline, once you book a ticket, then you can get discounted tickets or rental cars and stuff. So I'll look at that later. And then I may just decide to wait until I get to the airport to just go to the rental car and just rent a car and book it there. I did try to call Hertz to see if they had offered any discounted rates for nurses, but unfortunately they said no. And the reason I called Hertz was because I think everybody knows that they're filing for bankruptcy or they're going out of business. So I think they're offering lower rates. So I'll see. I'll kind of make a decision later about it. So while I'm out there, I'll try to make some videos. Hopefully, I have time, because on this assignment, right now, we will be working every day for 12 hours once they have assigned us. Pretty much, I don't think they've kind of been going back and forth. On my last assignment, we worked 21 days straight, 12-hour shifts, but this company is like, at first they said they're not requiring it, just 5 to 7 days. Then they came back and said it was required for us to do at least 21 days in a row without any days off. And then they came back and was like, oh, we have to still work at least 5 days. So I don't know. When you're dealing with the government staffing like this, anything can happen. So I'm just prepared to work every single day at this point. Like I said, I'll try to film if I'm not too exhausted on certain days. But, anyways, so y'all take care, and I'll be seeing y'all soon. All right, bye.